All right, so we're back for another deep dive. Last time we left Dante kind of teetering, right on the brink of this
Mm,
massive journey ahead of him. I mean, who wouldn't be terrified, right?
absolutely.
But if you recall, Virgil comes in and explains that Beatrice herself had actually, personally requested help from on high,
Hmm.
divine intervention. And it was that sort of like heavenly vote of confidence um, that really gave Dante the push he needed to overcome his own, initial hesitation
Yeah.
and take those first steps.
Yeah, it really is interesting to think about how often just like a simple word of encouragement or belief from someone we trust or admire can kind of make all the difference. It's like having that guidepost appear when you're feeling lost, especially at the beginning of something challenging. That initial nudge can be so powerful, right, in breaking through any inertia or self-doubt we might be feeling.
I totally agree. That's
Yeah.
like that little extra oomph that we need sometimes. And speaking of challenging, that brings us to the heart of our deep dives today. We're venturing into Canto Third of Dante's Inferno. And the mood, let me tell you, shifts dramatically. We're going to be focusing on the inscription above the gates of hell. Just those few lines, they pack such a punch and continue to resonate even centuries later.
Yeah, that inscription is more than just a warning sign. It's like a defining statement about the nature of this whole realm beyond. It immediately sets the stakes,
Yeah.
and just solidifies the irreversibility of everything that awaits inside.
So for this deep dive, our mission is to explore what we can glean from Dante's deeply personal and honestly terrifying experience that could be useful for all of us as we journey through life. Because listen, whether you're facing a big life transition, a daunting project, or even just the everyday ebb and flow of existence, Dante's initial steps into hell offer surprisingly relevant insights into commitment, consequences, and finding courage when things get really tough. There's something about his experience that can really shed light on aspects of our own.
Absolutely. I mean, while Dante's descent into hell is literally, singular, it's a one-time thing, the themes he grapples with, like facing the repercussions of our choices and finding that inner strength when things get rough, well, these are universal struggles. These are things we can all relate to on some level.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The gate of hell
Mhm.
and that inscription. Can you refresh our memory on the exact wording? It's pretty stark.
It is. It reads, "Through me you pass into the city of woe. Through me you pass into eternal pain. Through me among the people lost for aye. Justice, the founder of my fabric, moved. Divine omnipotence, supremest wisdom, and primal love made me. Before me nothing but eternal things were made, and I eternal last. Leave every hope, ye who enter."
Leave every hope, ye who enter. Woof. Those words are like a punch to the gut. It's the ultimate point of no return.
hmm
How does Dante react to this? And what echoes of that sense of finality do we find in our own lives?
Yeah, Dante's reaction is pure shock and terror. I mean, it's the ultimate confirmation that there's no going back, no solace to be found within those gates. For us, it speaks to those moments when we're faced with decisions that have weighty consequences, like accepting a job that requires you to relocate or making a tough personal choice that changes the course of a relationship. There's that same feeling of crossing a line in the sand and knowing that things will never be the same. It really makes you appreciate how much impact our choices can have.
It's like the moment you hit send on that email you've agonized over, or you walk across the stage of graduation. One chapter ends and another begins, and it's both exciting and terrifying all at once.
Yeah.
So Dante is confronted with this inscription, and then bam, he sees all these suffering souls, and earthquake hits, and there's this intense vermilion light, and he faints dead away. And this isn't the only time he loses consciousness in the Inferno, is it? Why does he keep fainting? What does it mean?
You're right, this isn't the last time Dante blacks out. Symbolically, these fainting spells represent the limits of human understanding and endurance when faced with the immensity of sin and the idea of eternal damnation. It's like his senses just overload and shut down for a bit. And from a narrative perspective, like you said, it creates a pause, a break between the different levels and stages of his journey through hell. Here, it marks his final transition from the world of the living to the world of the damned.
His body's basically like, nope, can't deal, shutting down.
Hmm.
So when he finds himself in the anti-inferno.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a waiting area outside of hell proper. And there he encounters the indecisive those who never committed to good or evil in life. And their punishment is brutal. They're endlessly chasing this meaningless banner, all while being stunned by wasps and hornets. Seems a little harsh for something that's more about inaction than action. What's Dante trying to say here about taking a stand?
Dante's placement of the indecisive, they're also called ignavi, and the particularly nasty way he depicts their punishment is a really powerful statement. He's saying that we have to make moral choices. In his view, staying neutral in the face of good and evil isn't just a passive thing, it's a failure to be fully human. By putting them in the state of pointless torment in a place that's not even really a human thing. Hell, he's suggesting they're totally insignificant, not even worthy of God's full judgment. It makes you think about those times we've chosen to stay silent or avoid picking sides. Dante's saying that even in inaction, we're making a choice and there are consequences.
It's a reminder that not making a choice is a choice, and sometimes it can have huge repercussions. Okay, so from the Anti-Inferno, Dante and Virgil, they reach the river Acheron, the first of Hell's rivers, and they run into Charon, the ferryman. This is a pretty tense encounter.
Oh yeah, Charon's this ancient, imposing figure, and he flat out refuses to ferry Dante across because he's still alive. His job is to transport the damned to their punishment. It takes Virgil stepping in and basically pulling rank, invoking heaven's will to get Charon to agree. And this whole scene really underscores how strict the boundaries are in the underworld and also how unique Dante's journey is. He's only there because heaven allowed it.
And while they're waiting to cross, Dante sees this huge crowd of souls all clamoring to get on the ferry. It really drives home the sheer scale of damnation. What does crossing the Acheron symbolize in Dante's journey, and maybe even in those metaphorical journeys we take in our own lives?
Crossing the Acheron marks a point of no return for Dante. Once he's in Charon's boat, he's truly entered the realm of eternal suffering. In our own lives, we cross similar rivers, those moments when we commit to a path that fundamentally changes everything. Think about starting a business or moving to a new country or ending a major relationship. These are all thresholds that once you cross, lead you into uncharted and often difficult territory. And the sheer number of souls also reminds us of the collective weight of our choices. All of our actions add up and have the potential to create enormous suffering, and hopefully enormous good too.
So now that we've kind of walked through this first harrowing stage of Dante's journey through hell, what are some of the key lessons, those unique insights that might resonate with our own experiences?
Well, I think several big themes emerge that speak directly to our own journeys. First, the fate of the Ignavi. They show us just how important commitment and making conscious choices really are. Dante's saying that to live a meaningful life, we need to actively engage, take a stand, make decisions even when they're hard. Indecision and a lack of moral conviction, they lead to a kind of spiritual emptiness. It makes us ask ourselves, are we actively shaping our lives or just letting them happen?
It's about being the driver, not just the passenger.
Exactly. Then there's the inscription on the gate of hell. It's a constant reminder that actions have consequences and those consequences last. In Dante's Inferno, people face eternal repercussions for the choices they made while they were alive. We might not believe in a literal hell, but the idea that our actions have a ripple effect both on ourselves and others is undeniable.
It's sobering but important to remember. And then we have Dante himself. He's terrified, even fainting at times, but he keeps pushing forward.
That's the essence of courage, isn't it? Dante is scared out of his wits, but he doesn't give up. And it really contrasts with the inaction of the Ignavi. Real courage isn't about not feeling fear, it's about facing challenges and moving ahead, even when you're afraid. And we all need that kind of courage when we're going through tough times or trying to achieve something really difficult.
And finally, that image of the souls falling like leaves as they cross the Acheron.
It's such a powerful way to capture the fleeting nature of life. Our time here is short. Dante's showing us that we need to think carefully about the choices we make during that limited time and how those choices will shape our lives and the lives of those around us.
So as we finish this first part of Dante's journey, we're left with a lot to think about. The need to make commitments and own our choices, the power of courage in the face of our own personal infernos, and just the awareness that life is short and our actions have lasting consequences.
Absolutely. And that leads to a final thought for our listeners. Take a moment and think back to a time in your life when you were faced with a really big decision. Maybe you felt tempted to stay neutral, or the potential consequences felt overwhelming. How did you handle it? What did you choose? And what were the long-term effects, both for you and for those around you? What did you learn from that specific moment in your own journey?
Well, this has been our third deep dive, and as always, we've just scratched the surface. There's so much more to uncover and explore. We're excited to continue this journey with you and delve deeper into the wisdom of these incredible works. We'll see you next time.